Okay, last PC video you saw was how to block a card, and that actual card is right here. So I built it, gone ahead, put it in. This is probably, you know, like a couple weeks later. It's been a while. But more or less what we have here is the finished product. This is the 4-way R9 290s, Asus Rampage Black, 4930K, full EK loop, custom. Everyone always says, oh, you're missing a fan there. Well, because it's 90-degree fitting, in order to run the loop the way I have it without kinking any of the lines, I need to use a 90 and run it into the 120 there. So I can't get a fan there, but it's still fine. It's a 480 up top. Right here is passive for 120 millimeters, and then the rest is SP 120s. So the only issue I had running 4 cards was I was running out of power. I'm running a 1500 watt Enermax Max Revo, and I was running out of power trying to benchmark. As soon as the cards start getting into load, it would just power off the system, much like the problem I had with 1250 watt OCV. So what I've done is I've hooked up a second Enermax, that's a 500 watt, and what that's doing is powering the motherboard and CPU, and then the 1500 watts powering the cards, hard drive, and fans, or hard drives and fans, and this is powering, like I said, the motherboard, CPU, and the case lighting. Now, the only thing is, I do have a cable, and actually, I'll show you that in the back here, before I get it started. Come on. There we go. Okay, so pull the back panel off. And I'll show you what's going on back here. Fucking heavy computer. Right here, I know the cable management is not great back here, but there's really not much I can do. There's so much cabling in this. So what I have done is I have... Right here is that connector I was talking about. So this connects into the factory 24 pin. I have that into a sleeved extension cable. And then this plugs into the main power supply, which runs off into another connector, which is basically just a ground, and that is grounding the 1250 watt, or sorry, the 1500 watt. This one is running to the 500 watt, and that runs all the way into the motherboard. So when I hit the power button, this will turn on both power supplies. In theory, it doesn't do that for me. More or less, I have to do this. So, okay, I want to use the computer. It's a little bit annoying right now. As you can see, that turns on the CPU and the lights and some of the fans. Some of the other fans are controlled by this one. So I'll flick the power switch to that one. And then press the power button on the system. And see the other 2 fans turn on. And now the system's booting. So it's a little bit of a theatrics to turn on. I gotta figure out how to wire it up correctly to make everything activate just with the one switch, but for now it's like that. And you know, it's not a big deal. I have to take the front panel off, but I leave it on for most of the day when I'm using it, and then I put the panels back on, and that's it. Back panel doesn't need to come off at all. But I'll show you right here. Here's where the hard drives are. So I got the one venting there, the other one venting there, and they're just basically pushing the air out the side of the case. So that's working out good. There is a spot for a second power supply here, but I'd have to drain the loop again, pull all this. I think it might run into this, the return from the blocks, because this is basically, no, this is the feed. So it's pumping in and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so there's a spot there. All I have is the power cable running through. I do want to like rig some sort of a cover for here. It's gonna have to be done custom. Like I would like to have this hard drive there, or sorry, this power supply right here, but there's so much cabling and it's not modular, right? So I have like a lot of stuff like tucked in and wrapped up and yada yada yada. But to have it there, it's all gonna have to be forced up through the cable management spots in here, and to do that, it's what's my dog doing? What are you doing, bud? It's one of my puppies. Got 4 of them. but I got him up here with me right now. Anyways, all of it would have to be pushed up through here, and there's just not enough room. So I have it just right here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video for a second. I'm going to put it all back together and show you how it actually looks in what I'd say is presentation mode. It's pretty cool. Pump RPM, CPU temperature. And you can do like real-time overclocks, different voltages, straight through the operating system. So that's pretty cool. It came with the motherboard. Okay, so let me just close this all up and I'll show you what it actually looks like under normal use. And there you go. So that's pretty much how it looks all the time. What are you eating? What are you chewing? Huh? Spit out. Spit out. What is it? Huh? Another one of your teeth fall out? He's losing all his teeth lately. Come on, let me see. Stop. Stop. Gaston. Ah. It's probably just another loose tooth. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Okay, play with the toys. Chew your bone. Anyways, this is what it pretty much looks like when it's just being used. Aside from just getting it turned on, having to take out the side panel, like I said, that is temporary. I am going to figure out how to properly wire all that, because the second I push the power button, it'll shut down the system. But the case fans will keep going, and you can still hear the hard drives ticking away. So there's... gotta figure out something. I think I might just dedicate the 1500 watt solely to the GPUs, and then the 500 watt, which honestly I don't think is going to be enough to power that CPU with that overclock. And hey, no, you can go see your brothers and sisters after. I don't think that'll be powerful enough to run the pump, all the fans, all the hard drives, everything like that. So I gotta figure something out. But so far, to run benchmarks and stuff, like to use the system to its, you know, its fullest, the dual setup is working really well. But yeah, so you don't really see much when you look. The only thing you do see is, since there's light shining at it, just a lot of the cabling from that power supply, because it's not modular. Other than that, like, none of that would be there. So I might just, you know, spend a bit more money. I mean, this one was only $40, but I might end up spending, you know, $75, $100, getting a nice 750 watt modular PSU, and then just using what I need off of that, and really saving on the clutter. But like I said, I got this $40 500 watt Enermax just to go, hey, let's see if this is the problem and if this will fix it. And sure enough, it fixed it. It works great. So I know that's my solution, and that if it really does end up bothering me, I will put a little bit more time and effort into cleaning that up, which I'd like to. I mean, you can still see cable ties from when I did the build, and you know, it's not finished, but right now it works, it functions, you know, it does what it needs to do, and I'm super happy with the performance. Like, this is number 36 in the world on Firestrike Ultra. So, you know, it does real well, especially for factory overclocks on the cards. Only 1040 megahertz, 1250 core. 1250 memory, 1050 for the core. And then the CPU is only at 4.2. 4.2 at 1.25 volts. If I go to about 1.3 volts, anything over that, this PSU shuts down. So to really get like crazy scores, I am going to have to get the PSU upgraded, that 500 watt, because it really just can't handle that octa-core, or sorry, that hexacore. But yeah, so that's how it ended up looking, guys. I'm super happy with it. Got to change this dust filter. But yeah, it turned out great, and you know, it finally works, and it plays games fairly decently. But yeah, I'll also have a video on how to install that block, the terminal block, and to set up your loop and stuff. I have all that filmed, but I'm just going to throw this up to show you the finished result. And yeah. Here, let's quickly turn on Heaven. We'll just, let's go 2560 by 1440. Where are you? There it is. We got 8 times anti-aliasing, extreme tessellation, ultra preset, full screen. Just give you an idea. Quick idea of the kind of frames you're going to get. Like, this machine is built for 4K and is a 27-inch 1440p monitor. So it's, you know, it's still good. I just haven't gotten the 4K setup yet. Oh, alright. Well, look at that. 25 frames per second. And you know why? Quickly do this. It's because I have all of the other cards shut off. Okay, let's just quickly turn those on. Go to Crossfire X. That's right. Enable 4 GPUs. This is also a beta driver. So we'll see when the WQHL comes out, or the full release candidate version. Okay, so that's done. Enable it. Now let's see. Do this real quick. Alright, that's done. And there we go. We're at if I can focus. 90s, 80s, 90s, 100. So pretty cool. The fact that it was at 25 frames per second with one card. Now you know we're in 130s, 200s, right? 25 frames per second with one card. I activate all 4, 100 frames per second in the same scene. So scaling in Heaven is pretty much 100%, which is actually pretty good. But I mean, it's a synthetic benchmark. It's designed for AMD cards, from what I hear. I didn't get too crazy scores on Firestrike. I mean, I got 40K GPU score, but my combined and physics scores, I think physics was 16,000 and combined was 7,900. I've gotten it to 8,600, but that was at 4.6 gigahertz, and I got 7,900 at 4.2. And yeah, NVIDIA GPUs really fly in the 3D Mark applications, whereas I find AMD GPUs, as well as NVIDIA, do equally as well on the Unigen benchmarks. But there you have it, 100% scaling in 4-way Crossfire in Unigen Heaven, which was pretty neat.